Namaste, sweet souls. Welcome to my first video. My name is Naomi Gonsel. I'm an illumined twin flame in 2J, Western Australia. Thank you so much for clicking on this. I've been wanting to do this series for a little while. This is just going to be me having a bit of a chat about what I've learned in regards to some big lessons that have come through to me in this journey. And I wanted to share it with you because I felt that would be a wonderful thing as other people are going through and walking this journey as well. So if you get some wisdom out of it, great. Take what you want. And if it doesn't resonate with your soul or something isn't quite right, you know, honor that, and I wish you well on your journey. But thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. The first lesson I wanted to talk to you about in the twin flame journey is trust, and how important and how big this is actually as a lesson. This is a really, really big one, and it takes a while to really work through you. But it's something that I've been called to talk about today. And yeah, I hope I can, if you've got any feedback or if I can help anyone through this, please comment and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So I'll get started. The element of trust, the meditation of trust, and what that is to each of us is very individual. You know, everybody's journey has been uniquely their own. Everybody has had things in which they've been taught to mistrust, and especially when it comes to romantic or loving relationships, we've all been burned. We've all had people who've not respected us, who've not seen us, who've not understood us, who've not done what we thought we were supposed to have done if it was true love. And that causes a lot of mistrust. This usually stems from our family dynamics. It usually stems from the people that have told us that they love us and have done things that felt the opposition to love. Abuse, you know, being abandoned, rejected, having, you know, your truths being told that they were lies, even though you know you were being truthful. You know, not trusting people is a big one, and not trusting your heart, because people who you thought were going to be able to tell you the truth actually weren't telling you the truth. And it made you distrust your own intuition. It made you distrust your own heart. It made you distrust yourself to such a degree that you kept needing to have everything validated outside of you first. It's what we're trained to do, you know. Is this okay? Am I doing this right? Have I done this wrong? You know, always asking these questions. Is it okay for me to? Am I all right? Those moments where you're taking your power away and not trusting your heart's knowledge are what you're working towards with your twin. It's a big lesson between the two of you. They are your spiritual teacher. So we have to be delving into some pretty dark stuff. It starts to remove blocks and conditions of where you started to feel safe or wanted to go, put boundaries up, put lines in the sand, put things that you didn't want to happen around you, and it became like a wall, like a prison, where there was you inside and then there was the rest of the world outside. And in order for them to even get anywhere closer, they had to be able to get through this impenetrable wall that you've created around yourself, and wondering why no one's willing to get through. You know, no one can get through until you meet your twin, and all of a sudden all the walls are down and you feel so exposed and so vulnerable and so open that you start to pull the walls back up in front of you, and you realize that each of these walls, as you come and pull up, are individually being delivered to you, and you have to apply your truth. And you start to have to realize that there's so much pain that you've been holding around yourself, and so many things that you didn't even realize you were still holding on to. You thought, oh my goodness, let me put that in a box and put it in the back of my brain and hope for the best that no one's going to unpack that, because, you know, it's too hard. It was too difficult. It was too painful. Like, you know, I know most of you have suffered grief, loss, rejection, abandonment, people who have either abused you, who have taken away your power on so many levels, where, you know, partnerships that dissolved because, you know, you couldn't see each other eye to eye, being in a relationship that you felt, you know, it was settling enough, you didn't have to really try too hard, and they seemed to be able to just do what you needed to do, but there was no passion. You know, how many times did you not trust yourself and let yourself get into situations that felt comfortable enough to keep going, but were actually just draining you and draining your soul and draining everything, you know? And so this element of trust that we're having to come back to is about facing all those things that made you not trust your heart. And not trusting your heart is one of the most fundamental things that we have to learn in order to trust our heart, because it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger the better we get at facing each of these things, finding compassion for our story, putting love back into our story, realizing that everything that we've gone through, all the people that have hurt us, all the people that have come to us, everything that we have walked through was for us, not to us. And to trust that the inspiration that we've got in our heart is true, is to be listened to, and is to be respected. And that there is a divine spark of desire that is living within you for a reason. Some twins chose to be in physical union while doing this work. And often the twins in separation feel this sense of lack or sense of envy for the fact that there's twins out there together already doing their work, even if it's hard, even if it's, you know, but that's what their souls chose to do. That's what they, as enlightened beings, said that is going to be the fast track. That's going to be the fastest way to ascension. We'll do this together. You know, that doesn't mean that they're any further ahead than the ones that are in separation. In fact, a lot of the ones that are in separation phase went through some pretty dark pasts, a lot of abuse, a lot of mistreatment, especially from past lives, things that have been brought in karmically, partners that have, you know, really destroyed them on a very deep level, you know, and that separation needs to happen because they had gotten further away from trust in themselves. So they got further away from it. They had to go even deeper into themselves in order to come to oneness. So there's this element of trust in the journey, which is a big one. Trust in the divine, that there's a deeper plan going on for you and your twin, that you are serving and delivering the lessons that they've asked you to serve and deliver them, and the vice versa. They are serving and delivering you the lessons that are going to be the most quickest way to ascension, the best way for you to see yourself, and they are only going to deliver this healing staggered. So you are going to get each of these lessons when you are ready for the lesson to be given. You are going to be given each of these things when you're ready, and you have to come to an element of trust in the first lesson before you can get delivered the next one. If you're still wailing over old shit, if you're still bringing up the past, if you're still not trusting your heart enough to know that this is a twin flame, this is your beloved, this isn't some kind of ruse, this isn't, you know, the God playing some kind of joke on you, like, this is real, this is something that you asked for, this is something that you wanted your soul to go through because you wanted to ascend past the structures of society that you were built in. You were here to be a revolutionary. You were here to be the new love, the new paradigm, the new earth, and the new human. That takes a lot of work, that takes a lot of dissolving, and it takes a lot of challenges to see yourself, and as you rise, it gets easier. As you bring on these lessons into those bigger wounded parts, you start to dissolve them quicker. You start to purge things quicker. You start to get into the nitty-gritty of it very, very fast, and you realize that everything is forgiven, because in love, everything is forgiven. So next time your twin triggers you, I want you to meditate on the word trust. I want you to trust that if it's not what you think it should be, it's not meant to be, because you are shining up something inauthentic in your experience that they're shining back to you. So if you are hiding, if you are scared, if you are unsure, if you are not not 100% feeling like you can trust the journey yet, then your twin will not be 100% trusting the journey yet. We, as the forerunners, like I'm going to say, divine femmes, we are meant to be the ones that show the way. The masculine, they're a timekeeper. They keep us, they will unfurl the next lesson for us at the very right time, and we must trust them in that. But we as divine feminines are actually the forerunners for all of this. And we need to be in a place where we can be strong in our truth, and that takes being knocked down, being delivered some of the difficult lessons, being rejected, being abandoned, being hurt, being told that we're just, you know, they're just not that into us. Well, let that be a guide to you that you are still in a place of having to trust it wholly and completely within yourself. If they're not trusting it, you're not trusting it. If they're not coming to the party, you're not coming to the party. Even if you're feeling like you want to just run over there, if you're running in desperation, if you're trying to cling to it like it, you know, like you're not going to be able to get through another day, and they don't, then your soul is showing you that you can get through another day, that you can survive anything, and the separation is not a punishment, it's a tool. It's not it's not somewhere where you're stuck forever. It's not purgatory. It's a master class at university. It's a moment in which you can take that time to sit with yourself and learn yourself. I can guarantee you, we've all lived busy lives. We've all had addictions. We've all had things which have taken us away from our inner sanctum, have told us we have to rely on everything outside of us in this physical world instead of relying on what's coming in and up and out of us naturally. We are all being provided this change, this shift, and this separation is a gift. It's a working holiday. It's a working holiday away from them. It's a moment in which you've got to trust your heart, and the only way you can trust your heart is being left with only your heart. Left only with your heart. So that it becomes so loud and so obvious and so true that nothing or no one or circumstance, not even your twin, can break the knowing that you have inside. Not even your twin. Even if they reject you after you've, even if they don't say anything after you've experienced, you know, really spelled it out for them. It was another moment in which to sit with yourself, realize that it's still your truth regardless of the response, and to trust yourself over and over and over again. Keep trusting. Keep having faith. This journey is about faith. This journey is about your truth and learning what that is, and knowing that, yeah, you've fallen in love with people before who've hurt you. Yeah, you've gone through some pretty big things that have really bruised you and made you feel very skeptical of love. Yeah, you've had people that didn't treat you the way they were supposed to treat you. And sometimes your twin is going to reflect that, because that's what the wounding is about. They don't reflect back to you anything that you're not consciously or subconsciously putting out. What you put out, you get back. So it's all about tidying up, you know, how you speak to yourself. Start being nurturing. Start trusting the journey enough to love yourself wholeheartedly. Start loving those places that you walked through. Stop demonizing the people that hurt you. Start realizing that they served you so that you could be in this. Everyone, everything actually was bringing you to the point of meeting your twin. The time of you meeting is genius. They had to watch you in your dark places most of the time. They had to see you where you've come from. They had to work with you to transform. They've had to go through this with you at this time, because it's important. It's important for your development. You can't get strong without going through some really big challenges and facing them and surviving them. And you will. You'll survive every single one. You'll repeat a lesson until you've learnt it. And the thing is, it's coming into a deeper and deeper awareness of each of these very succinct and necessary lessons for you to come back into trusting yourself. So I wish everyone a journey of self-trust and self-love. Do things to nurture you. Get back into the things that you love. Crafting, if that's your thing, you know, getting out into nature, listening to music, stepping away from everyone. Making that a point. Like, I know we've got busy lives. I know everyone has routines and stuff like that, but don't get trapped in the routine. Don't get trapped in it. Make sure that there's moments that's just about you. Take the self-introspection. Take the moments of silence by yourself. You don't even need to put on a meditation tape if you don't want to. You know, just sit outside, watch the sunset, watch the beach, you know, go into the mountains. Just be, and let what comes into your experience, let the thoughts that do come into you, you know, if they feel negative, question them. Why are you going through such negatives? Is this something that you've been thinking of before? If it's positive, nurture it. If you get into those negative cycles, keep reminding yourself of the fact that this is love. Keep getting back into the loving place. Get good at switching into your happy. You know, no one's going to be able to do that for you. You have to switch into your happy. You have to be in your truth. You have to be in your love. And the more that you do that, just like learning a musical instrument, you're training yourself to get back into trusting you and taking that time to love you and nurturing yourself on so many levels. That means, you know, treat yourself like you would treat a little kid. Lots of water, take your naps when you can, loads of fruits and vegetables, play, listen to music, create. Get into some coloring, drawing, you know, treat yourself like the inner child. That's what it wants. That's what we're here. We're here to love. We're here to dance. We're here to embrace. We're here to just enjoy the fact that we are living on a planet of abundance. We are living on a planet that needs love, and we can't be loving to others unless we're loving to ourselves. And this, in its respect, in regards to it, it's so necessary, and it will get you stronger into trusting yourself. It will get you stronger into trusting your journey. It will get you stronger in trusting your twin. I think I've talked enough now, but I thank you so much for holding strong and being in my presence. If you have any questions, if you'd like to reach out to me, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about further, please message me in the comments below. Or email me at nomicherry@gmail.com. And yeah, I really look forward to hearing your feedback. And if it doesn't resonate, that's okay. If it does, great, amazing. I'm just here on my mission, doing my best to help other twins. So thank you. I love you, and be love. Mwah.